Mike Tyson. You guys are similar age. How did that make you feel, Mike Tyson?
Man, I love him. He's been one of my heroes all throughout. I wanted to be Mike Tyson.
I just saw you watching Jon Jones on your phone. How do you feel when you see the next generation? I mean, he's the modern GOAT, right?
We worked out on a Wednesday before the show. I whooped his ass, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, we just went straight wrestling, and I'm the Olympian, man.
What was that like for you? Does a guy like you feel fear? You scared of death?
Not anymore.
Pulled your family out of a fire. You've spoken
Yeah.
about it before. Can you tell me? 'Cause
Well,
what was that like?
I was in there for 10 minutes to get them both out and go back in and try to get my dog. Well, I needed pride. I just got cut from the UFC. Champion. I had problems with alcohol my whole career. Boom, you could tell when I didn't prepare. 3 straight losses. I needed pride. Called me up and said, "Hello, come on over." They didn't love me. They wanted to use me as somebody with a big fucking name to get whooped by their stars.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with UFC Hall of Famer, absolute legend, Mark Coleman. Mark, great to have you at Fight Circus 12. What tempted you to come to Fight Circus, and what are we going to see from you today?
What tempted me? Just the offer. Out of nowhere, Jon contacted me through Matt Brown and offered me a fight in a wheelchair. So, been 2 days notice. I'm all in. I feel great. I'm 60 years old next month, but I expect it to be one-sided. You know, I do expect to hurt him. You know what I mean? Hopefully I do have to pull my punches because I don't want to kill him.
Yeah, he's a nice man. He's a good friend of mine.
I like him. I've had a blast over here. The food is like something else. The coffee's delicious. Mango juice. In heaven with the food. Beautiful, nice, kind people. Look at that view right there, my man.
What you did in this sport, especially as a heavyweight, everybody knows it's completely pioneering, and a lot of people that era, you know, they love it. I just saw you watching Jon Jones on your phone. How do you feel when you see the next generation? I mean, he's the modern GOAT, right?
Man, he is truly the GOAT. It hits home with me because we both fought in UFC 100. So I fought him when he was a 20-year-old. We worked out on a Wednesday before the show. I whooped his ass, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, we just went straight wrestling, and I'm the Olympian, man. So I took him to school. I was 44. He was 20, but no big deal. He ended up throwing a spinning elbow at me. It came up a little bit short. I called practice right there because he was getting a little angry with whatever. But no, he is truly the GOAT. I watched him today, and man, I love Stipe from my hometown, so I have a lot of feelings for him. But I love Jon. We've talked back and forth. We've been through a lot of stuff together, but proud of this man. He truly is the best, and like everybody else, I'd like to see him fight either Aspinall or Pierre. I mean, it don't matter to me. He brings eyes to the game. He's the best in the business, the GOAT.
Is he misunderstood, or is he just a dude who's got his demons in the same way a lot of people do?
It's just Jon Jones, man. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Misunderstood. Do you understand anybody?
Truly? We don't know, right?
Yeah, he's doing good for himself. He works hard. He works hard to be a good, honest person and to do the right things. It's tough. I mean, he's staying sober. He's got God, so he's got a good start right there. I got the same things right there. I got God, and I'm sober. With that, I can do anything. Without it, both of us will fail. You know what I mean? So I'm got through the day, another day so far.
It's inspiring for a lot of people who suffer the same thing to see somebody like you representing, and you've got your brand as well. Like, how important is this to you?
Well, just life is good. You get
You
sober.
look great.
You get sober, and you realize how grateful you should have been. I was never happy, angry, wanted more. Why didn't this happen? But then drank. So when I got sober, the first thing that happens is You're grateful. So I was blessed, and now I'm living the dream. I'm healthy. Health is exercise is health, and I feel amazing. I had a heart attack 5 years ago in the middle of this drinking binge. It didn't stop me from drinking or anything.
What was that like for you? Does a guy like you feel fear? You scared of death?
Not anymore. No, I don't know if I ever was, but I'm sure I was. But sober, find God. No, man, that's where I should be excited to go, because I'm going to a real nice place. But I'm happy here. God has a lot of work. I inspire a lot of people in sobriety and in exercise in many, many ways. So
100%. The chapters of your life, man. You have so many stories. I mean, you pulled your family out of a fire. You've spoken about it before. Can you tell me? Well, what was that like?
You know, I hadn't worked out in 12 years after my last fight. I went so far south. Exercise, nothing in my body worked. I drank. But what was the question?
What was it like to pull your family out of a fire? Like
so luckily, 2 years ago, I struck a deal with Liver King, my good friend, and he told me to transform back into the Hammer. And hung up the phone, and I started walking, and I never stopped. But it turned everything, advanced walking. I mean, did carrying weight on my back, shadow boxing, back into sparring. But in the meantime, I had 6 hip operations in the last year. But I never let one of them slow me down physically or mentally. I just accepted it. And now I'm 2 months post my 6th operation.
Damn.
And hey, it's still sore as hell, but hey, I'm here, and you gotta take risk in life sometimes. Educated risk. I think I'll be fine. That's why I'm in the wheelchair. You know what I mean? But I got through that, and sober, God, and saved my parents. I wouldn't have been able to save them if I hadn't been exercised. That's what I was getting at. I would have died. Well, I would have maybe get myself out. But I was in there for 10 minutes to get them both out and go back in and try to get my dog. And I got out without my dog. So it's the highest of fucking highs. The whole thing was. But at the same time, the lowest. Dog's gone. The Hammer. My first dog. So I thought I was fine when I got outside, but soon I found out I wasn't, 10 minutes in there, the ambulance got there, life flighted me to the hospital, induced me into a coma, and 2 days, my daughter's bedside.
Matt Brown is a daddy dog. I'm doing that online.
And I woke up for a day. They woke me up because my body healed itself. That's it. I woke up. I found the whole world had heard about this. I was grateful.
How do you feel about all those people that love you and like they hold such esteem for what you've done in the sport, inspiring people, whether it's sober? Like, how do you feel about how much you've done in your life?
Just I've always been. I'm glad about this. I've always been good to my fans because they're good to me. So, and then wake up and not just my fans, but then so many more. So I'm grateful. You know what I mean? But so I got to give back and help people. So that's what I do. So, and I'm blessed. Feel good, healthy in Thailand, having fun.
Can I just ask you, there's like nothing else, Pride. People look back on that like nothing else.
Look at that, brother.
That's
Holy
incredible.
Carnivore diet.
That's
Not
incredible.
today. Earn them carbs.
So,
Yeah.
Pride, everyone still talks about it to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Randleman, Shogun Hua.
We're on in like 10 minutes.
All right.
Eat up.
Let's go.
Pro
10 minutes. Let's go, bro.
Just briefly describe those days for me and what it meant, what it was like, who was the toughest opponent
days?
in Pride.
Well, I needed Pride. I just got cut from the UFC. Champion. I had problems with alcohol my whole career. Boom, you could tell when I didn't prepare. 3 straight losses. I needed Pride. Called me up and said, "Hello, come on over." They didn't love me. They wanted to use me as somebody with a big fucking name to get whooped by their stars. But
Didn't work out like that.
well, I got my shit together. Really got my shit together and trained, and I knew I was winning the Pride Grand Prix. I thought I was going to face Mark Coleman in the semis. That would have been interesting. So to say, who knows how much damage I would have took, but I would have whooped him somehow, some way. Decision maybe, or finish him, I don't know. And then Igor in the finals, my mind was very confident against him because he fought one of my students a couple years earlier. And my student was giving him an ass whooping, actually tapped him out in Israel, but they restarted the fight. My guy was there by himself. They took him to Israel, his first fight ever, third fight in a tournament, ground and pounded him for like 17 minutes, side mount, kneeing him in the head. He threw some questionable taps, but like more than 2, more than 3.
Yeah.
The ref stepped in, stopped it. And when he pulled my guy off, the promoters said, "What the fuck?" And they shoved my guy right back in guard now. And it just kind of mentally blew. He's a young kid, 17 minutes with a killer.
Yeah.
And Igor headbutted him from the bottom a couple times. And 21 minutes, he had enough. My buddy had enough. I was super proud of him.
Yeah.
If I would have been there, he would have never stopped. He would have kept fucking fighting.
Damn.
So we'll never know what would have happened. But
Those were wild days.
I knew I was going to beat Igor. I knew I had him. My game plan, he couldn't beat it. But he was one of the most dangerous men ever. But I was never going to let him get that shot off. I took a couple punches from him on the ground. And I tell you what, they were fucking heavy. He hit hard.
Damn.
Just from the ground even. It was neat to feel. I can't imagine him turning one over on you. His hands were like twice as thick as mine. Mine were bigger and longer, but he had a big club.
I know they want you in there, so I'll wrap it up. We have you, an MMA legend, competing at Fight Circus this weekend. Mike Tyson, you guys are similar age. How did that make you feel, Mike Tyson?
Man, I love him. He's been one of my heroes all throughout. I wanted to be Mike Tyson, back same age. I wanted to be what this guy was doing in boxing, but boxing wasn't my route. MMA started. As soon as I won it, everybody calls out Tyson. Well, I legitimately would have been neat. Can you imagine fighting that guy in MMA back then? It'd have been fun. Relatively, I don't want to use the word simple because he would have got mean and dirty, but I think I just smashed and ground and pound. But what he did yesterday, everybody's so worried. I was not worried about his health and all this stuff. He got to do what he did to come back like this and find out. He went 8 rounds with a young fucking stud, and be proud. Leave it at that, everybody.
Can you imagine if you fought him in this day and age? Millions and millions. Right, it's showtime. This man's got to compete. Absolute legend, Mark Coleman. You're the man.
Yeah, let's go.
Good
Time
luck.
to fight.